So tech inspection is now done, and we are awaiting the driver's meeting to take place here in about a half hour. And I've got everything emptied out of my vehicle. Everything's good. Passed the tech inspection. Behind me is a really awesome display of BMWs of all ages and types, Porsches. As I said before, there's BRZs out here, there's Mustangs, a couple of really cool custom cars, vintage Corvettes. There's a Cobra behind me and in a trailer. A gentleman sitting by his Cobra. Really cool group of cars out here. So looking forward to seeing what all these cars look like and sound like going around the track. Mine is probably the least modified car out here, so it'll be fun to see how it does in its first track exposure, and it'll be fun to see what all these other cars can do as they go around the track. I'll be watching them go by me, I'm sure. So driver's meeting shortly, and then onto the track. And the track I'll be driving for this, my first outing with my new dedicated track car, is a facility called the North Carolina Center for Automotive Research, or NCCAR, in Garysville, North Carolina. This recently opened 2-mile stretch of tarmac isn't an easy track to master. During the driving event on this day, we'd be doing timed laps, which was perfect for my purposes. I wanted to test my car and decide which were the most necessary and most urgent upgrades that I'd be needing. Helping me in that goal was the fact that NCCAR is full of long, sweeping turns. Several of the stretches here are double apex turns, making this track a hard one to find the racing line on. It also meant I would spend a lot of time trying to find a balance between keeping the car settled while also pushing as much speed coming into and out of the long turns. Adding to the challenge was our starting position, just off the track, here on this entry ramp. This meant that the long straight, which includes the normal start-stop line, was cut in half, requiring drivers to brake halfway down the straight and exit the track the way we had come on. After a session in the morning, getting to know my car and the track, I was ready for a few more laps in the afternoon. All right, so second run, second session. 117 is the time to beat for me. Clutch feels a little stiff, a little springy. Brakes have felt good. A lot of body roll. But the car's been quick. It's gotten quicker every lap. Or I've gotten quicker every lap. I'm sure the car could go faster. It's me that's the limitation. A few things stood out during and after my timed lapse this day. First, after owning a string of cars with DCTs, and all of my track experience being with paddle-shifted double-clutch automatics, driving a manual at high speed takes a lot of concentration. Negotiating turns is more than just keeping my racing line and trying not to fly off the track. It's also trying to remember which gear I'm in when I can't see the shifter because of my helmet, and timing my shifts so that I have the torque band when I need it. Next, my romantic ideas of talking to you from behind my helmet as I fling around the track like Jeremy Clarkson were gone fast. I was concentrating, and trying to narrate while driving will have to wait until I get better at this. Thank you. Oh! Last, I learned a ton about what my car will need, and maybe a few things about what it won't. So that was 114.25. So, to recap, I had a great first day on the track with the SLK. The car was fun, it was solid, and both me and the car made it home unbroken that day, so that's a win. In terms of how the day progressed, I ran a total of 8 laps that day, which was a lot less than other drivers. And again, my intent wasn't to push myself to the limit or break the car or get as many laps in as I could that day. It was to progressively learn and feel what the car felt like at speed and learn a little bit about what the car might need in terms of future upgrades. My learning was progressing. I got faster every one of my 8 laps that day, so I was excited to see that. And as I learned a little more about my driving skill and how this car performs, as I said, I want to decide what will be next in terms of modifying its performance and learning to drive at faster speeds and learning more about my car control skill. How did I compare? Well, there was an M4 driver that I talked to throughout the day, and he was hitting times of around 112 throughout the day. One of the tuned Mustangs that I saw running throughout the day was hitting times in the 80s. So I was way off the leaderboard. There was no comparison between me and the other drivers. But again, I wasn't out there to win this day, and I was happy to see that I progressed and was learning more about the feel of the car and how it felt to push it into certain corners, how to get acceleration in and out of turns, all the driving dynamics that I wanted to learn that day. In terms of how it performed and what will be next for the car, the brakes, my brake job did me well that day. They were solid. The cooling system held up really well on a hot day, so I had no temperature issues, and the car really felt smooth all throughout the day. As I spoke about in some of the driving dynamic video coverage, there was a lot more body roll at track speeds than I see on the street. So I think some strut tower braces are probably next in terms of my suspension setup, some stickier tires, because right now I've got sort of mid-performance dealer specials on there, and probably some coilovers, lowering springs, some additional things to get the suspension a little tighter, lower the center of gravity a little bit, and prepare the car to go faster and be flatter in the turns. So I had a blast, really excited to see how the SLK performed, and it was a really good day on the track. So what's next? Well, I'm deciding on the dates for my next track day, and I'll bring those details to you as soon as I decide. I want to pause and say a big thank you to all of you who have watched this channel and to those of you who have subscribed. I've been a big car nut all my life, as I've talked about in some of these episodes. And it's been really gratifying to share that love of cars and of driving and my fascination with these machines with all of you who experience this channel. So thank you very much for your support, for watching, and I look forward to bringing you future installments as my journey with my track car continues. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I was all over the place.